Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the BSGL. Today we have month 4 highlights, and as you can see, I am pretty well through all of month 4 highlights myself, but I couldn't have time to do any of the box scores, so I'm going to go through all the box scores with you today. I mean, obviously the highlights will be in the middle of this, but the box scores are all one recording for me. But month 4 highlights are here, so let's go ahead and check out week 1. We did watch this game in prime time, so I'm not going to go over that box score if you missed that. It was a good game, 12-point game, so go ahead and watch that if you missed it. But the Hustlers went to Atlanta and beat the Legends 121-109. Reggie George, 24 points, 19 rebounds, 8 assists, 21 for Reddish, 18 for Price, and 16 for Simpson. As Marks had 11 and 10 as well. And then for the Hustlers, 25, 7, 3, and 2 for Natchbahar, 20 for Pittman, 18 for Hammonds, and then 17 and 13 for Abdul Wahad, 13 for Babcock, 10 for the rookie Will Kendrick, and 10 for Little. As then on the next game, the Blaze went to San Diego and got a 23-point win as the Sharks have really come back down to earth after being 5-2. They are now, 5-2. They are now 6-7, and the Blaze are now 12-7. They were like 0-3 to start the season. Gildreth Butler led the way for the Sharks, 21 points, 18 for Anderson, 15 for Ellis Jr., 10 for Narush, 10 for Tatum, or 12 for Narush, 10 for Tatum, 9 and 10 for Pope, and then 8, 3, 2, and 3 blocks for Randall Kikanovich. For the Blaze, 41 and 16 with 4 steals, 2 blocks for B.J. Riley, 23 for Baker, 12 and 9 for Alabaster, 10 for Copeland, and then 7, 10, and 8 for Pittsnoggle. As nothing on the 5th. The Royals went to Minnesota to play the Moose and beat them 120-116. Vernon Farmer led the way for the Moose, 27 points, 10 rebounds, 2 steals, 4 blocks, 19, 16, and 3 for 2 blocks for Cy Gilbert, and then 13 for Holmes, as they did trade for Billy Ray Gibbs. Never mind. As you can see there, they traded away Billy Ray Gibbs because he's in a blue jersey, and then they have Hanlon. Whoops, I don't know why I thought that he went there instead of being traded away from there. But Rich Mack led the way for the Royals again, 40 points, 16 rebounds, 31, 8, and 12 for Kenny Dimes. Huge games from both of them. Tim Tebow actually put up a triple-double with 14 and 10, 12 for Rogers, and then 7 for Raven. As then the Pioneers beat the Pandas by 14, 38 for Cade Cunningham, 27 for Dandridge, 16 for Hickson, 13 for Miller, and then 13, 10, and 10 for Denzel Spears. That is a triple-double. As for the Pandas, Newman, 19, 17 for Ming, Domerkant, and Midas Khan, 11 for Bosch, and 10 for Long. Then the Titans hosted the Sting in Detroit and got an 8-point win, 115-113, 24-13, 8, 5, and 3 for Doug White. Pretty huge game. 19 for Figueroa, 16 for Hardy and Carpenter, 15 for Moncrief, and 14 for 15 for Green, 14 for Moncrief. As Lions had 17, Villa 15, 14 for Clark, 12 for Ronald and Williams had 9 rebounds, 13 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks, 11 for Quigley, and then 10 for Carson. The Buzz went to Toronto to play the Huskies and got a 15-point win, 23, 3, and 7 for Owen Bradley, 15 for Boomshay, 14 for Kenny Justice, and then 11 for Jackson and Leach. As on the 7th, the Enforcers got yet another win, beating the Apollos by 21. RJ Blue led the way for the Apollos, 26-9, 15s for Carson Gaines and MJ Hart, 11 and 10 for Oakley, and then 10 for Brown and Peters. For the Enforcers, 25, 17, and 11 for Will Trusses. I want to know how a man that is 5'8", that's right, got 17 rebounds, 24 for Mosley McAfee, 18 for Sanders, 17, 11, and 10 for Morrissey, another triple-double, and then 14 and 11 for Hawkins, 11 for Gallagher, 10 for Lavender. All around, pretty huge effort for the Enforcers. As in the Wranglers went to New York and took a 15-point L to the Skyliners. Dambrauskas, 22 points, 7 rebounds, 20 and 17 for John Francis, 19, 3 and 5 for Jim Halpert, 15 for Duhan, 13 for Westerman, 12 for McDice, 11 for Ruben Solomon. As for the Wranglers, Lamar Outlaw led the way, 22 points, 19 and 11 for Witherspoon, 18, 17, and 13 for Shelton, 14 for Hammonds, and then 12 for Lambert and White. The Shift continue their losing ways. They lose in Memphis, 87-111. It does not look like the repeat is going to happen. As for the Knights, Ivan Heinsohn, 25 points, 15 for Bohannon and Martinez, 14 for Zagaranovich, 10 for Wallace, 9 for the rookie Beefy Beefcakes and Baxter, 21 for Haley, led the way for the Shift, 16 for Hamilton, 11 and 13 for Foster, just 9 for Long, and then 9 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks for their trade acquisition, Gus Hefflinger. He has been traded away from Washington and now plays for the reigning champion Indianapolis Shift. As you've got to wonder, are the Shift embracing the tank? Is the real question. We will go over that trade after we get through these box scores. On On the 8th, the Wolfpack do take an L to the Wranglers by 5 in Milwaukee, 23-3 for Shackelford, 17-15 for Cartwright, 14 for Hayton, and 13-9-5 for Allen Smith. As for the Wranglers, 17 for Porter and Shelton, 14 rebounds for Shelton as well, and 17 for Hammonds, as these guys all had 17. My bad. Lambert was 16, White with 11, and then Lamar Outlaw with just 9 points. As the Royals went to Denver and took a L to the Goblins by 15, 24 for Jameson, 22-12 for Wade Cage, 16 for Quang, 15 for Red, 14 for Flowers, and 11 for Whitney. As in for the Royals, 29-12-3 for Rich Mack with a steal and a block, 26 for Weber, 19-7 for Rogers, 12-10 for Kenny Dimes, and 12 for RJ Miller, who they acquired in a trade. And we will also go through that one in a minute. The Bison defeat the Sharks in San Diego by 4. Anderson, 16 points, 14 for Gildreth Butler, 13 for Narush, 11 for Quentin Pope in points and rebounds, 10 for Ellis Jr., and then Zagato had a 10-point, 10-rebound double-double. Lester Bates led the way for the Bison, 24 points, 22 for Davis Reitzel, 14-9 for Strawberry, and then 10-9 for DeMarcus Leto, who also was in a trade. And then Lou Fung down here with just 4 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, and was 1 of 8 from the floor. The Buzz went to Washington to play the White Whales and took got an 8-point win. M. Boyd led the way, 47 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 19 of 27 from the floor, hit 5 of 8 threes. 4 of 7 from the free throw line, but they lost by 8 anyway, so it's not like it would have mattered. Even got 4 offensive rebounds, 18 for Jalen Suggs behind him with 9 assists, also shot the ball really well, 13 for Butterfield, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, also shot the ball really well, 12-12 for Cousins. Once again, shot the ball really well. The rookie Moon with 11, and then O'Hay with 10. The only person that really didn't shoot the ball well was Del Negro at 2 for 12. Everybody else right there at or just below 50%. But DeAndre Johnson, 26, 21, and 13, a huge triple-double, 20 for Bohannon, 18 for Astopkovich and Worley Tolbert, 17 for Ryder, and then 12 and 10 for William Strong down here, and then 9 for the rookie Big Show. On the 9th, the Hustlers took an L to the Brigade. Yeah, 34-point L, maybe even more than that. 44-point L, 34-point L, a lot of points L. 19 for McKenna, 16 for Lumpkin, 14 for Baldwin, 13 and 10 for Mustafid, and then 12 and 17 for DeJuan Jones. They do get the win. Woodard and Van Arsdale both with 11 for the Hustlers, 22 for Natchbor, and nobody else was even in double figures. 7 for Jippy, Little, and Babcock, and then 9 for Abdul Wahad, as Will Kendrick had 4 down here, but Duncan did sit out this game with a broken nose, as the Bulldogs went to Anaheim and got smacked. 40-point loss, 36, 16, and 5 with 2 blocks for Rich Mack, 34 for Kenny Dimes, 22 for Weber, 14 for RJ Miller. Huge games all around there for the Royals, 21 for Chuck Armstrong, 14 for Massenberg and Manvunga, 13 and 10 for Barrett. As we will now go into our week number 1 game, so I will see you guys after that game. So for our first game, we are in New Orleans as the Houston Predators come into New Orleans to play the Pandas. As here is Snyder going down the lane against Dormerkamp, putting it up with the right hand, getting it to fall. He would head to the line. A nice 3-0 start here for the Predators. Later in the game, here is Kevin Ball in the mid-range, knocks it down, making it a 7-0 lead. Here's Midas Khan still down 7. He scores easily inside to make it back down to 5. Here is Sun Ming going in. He's going to put up a layup. No good. Bosch the rebound. And a two-handed jam there from Bosch, who the Pandas did acquire from the Cobras. So here's Alexander Walker going inside, whipping it out to Domerkant, who knocks down the 3, and the Pandas have their first lead of the game. Very next Pandas possession. Here is Khan going right around the rookie, and he throws it down with the right hand. 15s now for both teams. Kevin Ball inside to Parker, who punches it down with both hands. 2-point lead now for the Predators. Now back to tied. Here's Dylan White getting stripped, and Ellington comes up with the ball. He's going the other way, and he's going to jam it home. Pulling it back the other way, goes inside. Nice layup, as we do know he's a slasher, and he shows it there as he ties the game. Now still at 23. Here is Parker again throwing down another jam. 25 now, Midas Khan, mid-range fadeaway, no good, but Bosch is there for another rebound and slam. So he's doing a lot of work here on the offensive glass here for the Pandas. Here's Snyder going inside, putting up a floater, no good, and that is Solomon. Slamming home the putback. Sun Ming, a lob to Midas Khan in some traffic. He throws it down. 4-point game. Here's O'Gallagher Jr. going to Snyder, top of the key. He's going to knock down the 3. A lot of points for Snyder here in the first half. It's still a 1-point game with 6 seconds left. Here's Alexander Walker just throwing it up to Khan, who had the size mismatch. 5-point Pandas lead in the third as Kevin Ball gets an inside pass and throws it down. So little man gets up, and somebody's got to help on this as Midas Khan easily scores over Kevin Ball. There's got to be some help there. They're down 9 now. Here is Ball in the mid-range. He goes inside, and how about the layup with people all over him? 7-point lead. Here's Sun Min going inside to Khan, who punches another one home. Somebody's got to get in his way. As here is Jovan going inside to Ellington. Ellington goes up and one. Foul will be on Walker Kimbrough. As now here is Newman going inside. He's going to go to Ellington, who punches down the jam. And this game has gotten out of hand all of a sudden. 17-point game. Snyder, though, continuing to score for the Pandas. 44-64 now. Here is Newman going inside and punching one home. It's a 22-point game as now here's Khan going inside. He's going to get a layup. Easy peasy there for the Pandas as they win this one 49-76 and absolutely dominated the second half. So here we are checking out the box scores on that day. The Flamingos did beat the Sharks by 5. Quentin Pope, 30 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists, 19 for Godeth Butler and Tyler, 13 for Ellis Jr., and then 12 and 9 for Kikanovich. Kili Antonov, 25 points, 9 rebounds, 17 assists, 2 blocks, just a rebound away from a triple-double. 18 for Greenwald, 17 for Strawberry, 16 for Stackhouse, 15 to Najee, 12 for Cauley-Stein, and 10 for Jordan. As then the Huskies went to Toronto, or the Cobras went to Toronto and took a 13-point L. 18 for Jackson, 16 for Owen Bradley and Boomshay, 16 for Martin as well, 15 for Leach, and 14 for Justice. What they did obviously lose, 47-7-7 for Evan Stone with 2 steals, 29 for Abraham Dyson, 11 for the rookie Ernie Steele, and then 10 for Kane and Big E, whose name I do not want to say because I can't. Then the game we just watched, the Predators get manhandled by the Pandas. Midas Khan, 49 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, 18 for Ellington, 17 and 28 for Bosch on 7 of 7 shooting. They did trade for him earlier in the season. You got to think it's working out so far. 17 and 12, or 13 and 12, good lord, for Newman, 10 for Alexander Walker, for the Predators, 17 for Snyder, 14 for Ball, Gallagher Jr., and Parker, and then nobody else really did much of anything. The rookie down here, Dylan White, with 4 points. As the Blaze then defeat the Shift 108-95, a 13-point win for the Blaze over the Champs, who they did lose to in the finals. A nice revenge game for them. 19 for Haley, 17 for Towns, 13 and 11 for Foster, and then 12 for Hamilton. As Gus Hefflinger continues to shoot the ball horribly, as James Johnson led the way for the Blaze, 21 points. James Johnson, that's Jalen Johnson. 20 and 11 for B.J. Riley, 13 for Richmond, 12 for Brooks, and 10 for J.P. Evans. Pittsnoggle also grabbed 13 boards. Into the next week. Before we do that, we are going to look at the transaction report. Here is all of the trades that we need to announce, starting all the way down here. The White Whales did trade Gus Hefflinger and a first-round pick to Indy, as the White Whales received Corey Cousins, their starting center from the Shift, who was very, very good in their playoff run and everything. Started pretty well the second half of the season after they took out Wading Ryman. And they are swapping their first-round picks with the White Whales getting the worst and the... Yeah, you guys can see it. David Wright and a 2025 first-round pick got traded to the Hilltoppers for DeMarcus Leto and Imontas Mitrovic as some much-needed big men there for the... Well, not really much-needed big men for the Bison, but some much-needed depth down there at the big guys as the Hilltoppers get a nice power forward. The Pioneers traded R.J. Miller, their three-point shooting guard, to the Royals for a 2024 first-round pick. And then the Townhawks traded Bradford Kellogg for Billy Ray Gibbs and a 2023 second-round pick. That is why we saw Billy Ray Gibbs in the blue jersey. The point guard for the Sting, Teddy Ronald, got traded to the Legends for Admiral Barros and a 2025 second-round pick. And then Rex Worley Tolbert got traded straight up for Diamond Vendopinova. Nope. Zendon Witherspoon and a 2022 second-round pick got traded straight up for Dwight Wallace. So Witherspoon to the Knights and Wallace to the Wolfpack. The Goblins traded Quing Zhu Quang to the Wolfpack for Brian Anderson and $6.5 million exception. So you got to accept that for the Goblins for $7 million. As in the Hilltoppers traded Eastern to the Sharks for both of the Sharks picks in 2024. I don't know what the Sharks were thinking, trading away both picks for 1 year. But then the Wranglers traded away Lonnie Hammonds for the Brigade's 2024 first round pick and their 21 second round pick. The Pandas got rid of Bam Majaba and Brandon Hicks to the Enforcers for a 2023 first-round pick, lottery protected, and Mayshawn Rooks. The point guard, J.P. Evans, has been traded to the Royals for Tress Tinkle and Isaac Falcone. Maximilian Bohannon gets traded to the White Whales for A.C. O'Hay. Okay, now that we've been through all those, now let's go into week number 2. Starting off in week number 2, the Hustlers went to Houston to play the Predators, lost 102-113. O'Gallagher Jr. 25, Kevin Ball 17-10, 14-12 for Walker Kimbrough, and then 12 for Snyder, 10 for Parker. Nashbar led the way for the Hustlers, 38 points, 18-10 for Abdul Wahad, 12 for Poole, and then 9 for Will Kendrick. Duncan did miss this game as well. The Legends went to Indianapolis to beat the Shift 113-103. Haley led the way again for the Shift with 22, 20 for Coleman, 18 for Foster, 12 for Talons, 8 for Jennings, and then Hefflinger down here, 2 for 11. Don't know what they were thinking with that trade, even though they did get a pick swap out of it. 22 for Marks, 21 and 11 for Reggie George, 13 for my father, and then 13 and 10 for Robinson Earl in the win at the Champs. 11 for Barrows, 10 for Brantley and Reddish. As the Enforcers went to the Knights and got a 13-point win, Ivan Heinsohn, 30 points, 8 rebounds, 16 for Zigaranovich, 14 for Bohannon, 12 for Sloan, and 11 for Baxter. As then for the Enforcers, Will Trust, another triple-double, 27, 12, and 10, 16 for Mosley, McAfee, and Hawkins, 15 for Sanders, and then 15 and 10 for Morris, and 11 for Lavender. As then the Bulldogs went to Portland and took a 12-point L to the Pioneers, 19 and 11 for Dandridge, 17 for Spears, 13 for Shaw, 12 for Hickson, 9, 9, and 15 for Cade Cunningham. DJ Jolly Harper led the way for the Bulldogs, 35 points, 18 and 8 for Irving, 9 and 9 for Massenberg, 8 and 13 for Beretta, as I do not know where Chuck Armstrong was for this game, as I just checked the injuries and he was not there, so it must have been a small injury, as he did come back here pretty soon. The Blaze went to Washington and beat the White Whales 124-115. The White Whales now with 9 and 14, 29 points for M. Boyd, 18 for Guerrero and Del Negro, 12 for Jones, 10 for Butterfield, 9 for Suggs, 6 for O'Hay, who they just traded, and then 5 and 6 for Cousins, who did not do great there in his second game in a White Whales jersey. 33 and 10 for B.J. Riley, 16 and 10 for Copeland, 13 for Alabaster, Johnson, and Baker, as in Pittsnoggle had 10 rebounds and Richmond had 11 assists. The Moose hosted the Buzz and got a 4-point win, 35 for Hanlon, 16 for Bedingfield, 13 for Kellogg, who they just did trade for, got him out of Oakland, and then 13 for Holm, 10, 8 and 6 for Cy Gilbert, 23 for Wagner, 13 for Bohannon, 13 for Worley Tolbert, 10, 9 and 10, or 12, 9, and 10 for DeAndre Johnson, and 10 for Astapkovich, as that will actually send us into our Week 2 games, so we'll see you guys after that game. It took us all the way until month 4 to get the Wranglers game in one of these videos, but they are finally here as they are in Brooklyn playing the Cobras. Here's Evan Stone going inside, whipping it out to Dyson for 3, as that will be our first highlight of the game. Cobras now down 1, now down 5. Here's Stone blowing by a man, floater. Let's just look at the driving ability right around his man. 4-point game. Here he is yet again, screen from Ernie Steele, goes inside against the bigger man and still finds a way to put it in. Baja here giving him a pass. He's got 7 already in the game. 14-8 or 17-18 now. Cobras as here's Outlaw going inside. He's blocked by Baja. Now Baja full head of steam coming down the lane, not giving it up, and throws down an absolutely ferocious jam. As there's a steal from Fisher, and he's going right to Baja at the end of the quarter for another jam. Just 4 seconds left on the clock. It is a 5-point Cobras lead. As look at Evan Stone blow by everybody and maybe try to top his teammate there with a dunk of his own. As here's Lamar Outlaw going inside and throwing down one as well. Maybe the best dunk of the game. As here's Stone, why not another one? A huge response, as usually he does most of his work from outside, but today he's headed for the throat. As here is Shelton just walking it down against Big E, throwing it in, piece of cake, 9-point game now. Here's Stone, how about another slam? Look at the little man elevate here as an 11-point Cobras lead. Here is Dyson, just in case you forgot he could score at will too. Here he is in the mid-range, stepping back, easy buckets. Here's Shelton going over to, is that Porter in the corner to hit the 3. Back to a 10-point game now at 12. Here's the end of the quarter. Shelton has to throw something up. Puts it up with the left hand and a nice bucket there. Put it back down to 10 at the end of the quarter. Here's Outlaw inside, going up. No good. Dyson blocks him after he gets his own rebound. Stone now the other way. Little spin move going inside to Big E, who throws it down with both hands. 14-point game. Here's Alfred Houston going inside. We just watched his former team, the Pandas, play, and now we are watching him as he was traded straight up for another center. As there was Outlaw getting a nice and one, but he did miss the free throw. Baja inside to Stone again. He's got like 12 points off nothing but slam dunks. As here's Shelton just going inside against Stone. Poor guy has no chance without any help. He's missing about 9 inches of height to be guarding this guy, and here he is again, just getting dunked on. Doesn't have a chance in there. 19-point game here. Shelton still going at the rim in a full attack mode and a huge jam. Kobe Bryant-esque on the reverse. 18-point game now still, despite all these nice jams. Porter for another 3 puts it down to 15, but they still have quite in the mountain to overcome here in the fourth. Still down 15. Shelton, lefty layup is good. 13-point game. Here's Houston. Forgot he had the ball for a second. Nobody in his way, and finally throws it down. Stone going right, whipping it out to Kane. His 3 is good, as this game has gotten a little out of hand. Just a 14-point game, now down to 12 with 2:30 to go, and let's push it back to 14 as Stone finds another easy slam. Still a 14-point game. Next possession for the Cobras. Stone, mid-range, no. Big E, the rebound goes up, and Shelton fouls him. So he will head to the line. He would miss. 16-point game as Witherspoon catches the lob from Shelton. But that will be all she wrote in this one. The Cobras defend home court and get a 59-77 win over the visiting Wranglers. Checking out the box score on the game, the Wranglers do drop this one by 31 points, 50 points for Evan Stone with 17 rebounds. Shot the ball 42 times, 20 for Dyson, 17 and 17 for Houston, 14 for Baja, and then 13 for Kane, 10 for Big E. As for the Wranglers, 30 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists for Lamar Shelton, 26 for Outlaw, 23 for Porter, and then not a whole lot for the rest of the team. Lambert had 10 assists, but also went 2 of 19 from the floor. As then the Bulldogs do defeat the Bison by 10 in Oklahoma City, 152-142 in regulation. So nobody really wanted to play much defense in this game. 27 for Bates, 25 for Ahern, 22 for Strawberry and Fung, 16 and 10 for Davis Reitzel, and then 13 for Carter. As for the Bulldogs, 36 and 10 for Beretta, 31 for Chuck Armstrong, who, like I said, already came back, 24 for Massenberg, 18 for Jolly Harper, 17 for Irving, 11 and 10 for Van Exel, and then 10 and 11 for Manvunga. As then on the 13th, the Titans defeat the Skyliners by 22 points in New York, 21 points for Dambrauskas, 16 for Davis, 14 for Duhan, 13 for Halpert, 12, 9, and 8 for John Francis, and 10 for Ruben Solomon, 27, 13, 7, and 2 steals for Doug White, 18 for Carpenter, 16 for Figueroa and DeVecchi, who also had 12 rebounds, 14 for Green, and then 12 for Suggs, and 10 for Manchin-Guana. So a big team effort there for the Titans. As in the Wranglers beat the Huskies by 10 points in Toronto, 21 for Justice and Boomshay, 16 for Bradley, 15 for Leach, 12 for Aflalo, and then 8 for Martin. As then the Wranglers 29, 12, and 12 for Lamar Shelton, a triple-double, 19 for Witherspoon, 10 for Outlaw, 12 for Hammonds, and 11 for Ruff and Pratt. As then the Wolfpack actually defeat the Blaze in Milwaukee, 27 for Alan Smith, 15 for Shackelford and Anderson, 11 for Witherspoon, and 10 for Leonard. B.J. Riley had 31 and 13, 15 for Alabaster, and 11 for Johnson, Pittsnoggle, and Evans, and then Baker had 10. The White Whales do get a win in New Orleans, a 6-point win over the Pandas. Domer Kane had 20, along with Alexander Walker's 20 and 10, 19 for Newman, 18 for Ellington, 10, 6, and 12 for Midas Khan, and then 10 and 13 for Bosch. Boyd led the way again for the White Whales, 28, 8, and 6, 20 for Del Negro, 15 for Jones, 14 for O'Hay, 12 for Corey Cousins, and 10 for Del Negro, or Guerrero, whoops. As then the Cobras went to the Moose and also took an L by 9, 18 and 9 for Cy Gilbert, 15 for Holmes, 14 for Hanlon, 13 for Banks, 12 for Love, 11 for Farmer, and 10 and 15 for Kellogg's, looking like he's working out there in Minnesota, 25 and 13 for Dyson, 17 for Kane, just 14 for Stone, 13 and 7 for Ernie Steele, and then 10 and 10 for Fisher. As then on the 14th, the Buzz went to the Townhawks and took a 10-point L. Xander Myers with 24, 13, and 11. That's a triple-double. 23 for Galifianakis, 22 for Summerton, 15 and 11 for Valentine, and then 15 for Harrington. DeAndre Johnson, 28, 13, and 8. Not quite a triple-double, but 20 for Bohannon, 15 for Wagner and Ryder, 14 for Worley Tolbert, 13 for Astopkovich. As then the White Whales took a 14-point L in Houston. Kevin Ball with 25, 10, and 10, a triple-double. 16 for O'Gallagher Jr., Snyder, and Douglas, and then 10 for Solomon. As Corey Cousins actually led the way for the White Whales this time, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 21 and 10 for MB, 12 for Del Negro, 11 for O'Hay, and 10 for Jones. The Apollos then went to the Flamingos and took a pretty hard L, 31 for Kanye Jordan, 24, 19, and 11 for Killiantonov, triple-double, 16 for Stackhouse, 14 for Carson, 13 for Greenwald. Brown led the way for the Apollos, 22, 21 for Gaines, 12 for Oakley, and then 10 and 10 for Felder, as Oakley has really fallen off here recently. The Skyliners beat the lost to the Cobras by 10 in Brooklyn, 52 more points for Evan Stone, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, 21 for Dyson, 13 for Kane, and then 12 for Big E. Jim Halpert actually led the way for the Skyliners for once, 18 points, 17 for John Francis, 15 for Dambrauskas, and then 12 for Solomon and Westerman. As then the Enforcers beat the Hustlers by 15 in Baltimore, 27 for Babcock, 17 for Little, 16 for Natchbar, 15 for Abdul-Wahad, and 11 for Pittman, 28 for Hawkins, 25, 15, and 13 for Will Trust, as he is actually racking up the rebounds, averaging 7 a game, and then 20 for Morris, 11 for Mosley, McAfee, and Threat. On the 16th, the Sharks defeat the Sharks lose to the Predators in Houston by 13, 19 for Schneider, 17, 14, and 19 for Kevin Ball, a triple-double, 16 for Dylan White, the rookie, 14 for Douglas, 11 for O'Gallagher Jr. and Taylor, as Anderson had 25 for the Sharks, led the way, 16 for Gildreth Butler, 11 for Pope, and Ellis Jr. Pope also had 14 rebounds, and Kikanovich had 12 as well. The Brigade beat the Legends by 12. In Atlanta, Reggie George had 44 points, those 16 rebounds despite the loss, 13 for Marks and Price, 12 for Simpson, 11 for Ronald, who they did acquire from the Sting in the trade, 25 and 11 for DeJuan Jones, 24 for Maravich, 14 for Manning, and then 13 for Baldwin, 10 for the rookie Liu Yi and Van Arsdale. On the 17th, the Sting take an L in Anaheim to the Royals, 43 and 14 for Rich Mack, 21, 18 and 10 for Kenny Dimes, 18 for Rogers, and then 11 for R.J. Miller, who they did acquire in the trade, 18 for Richardson, 14 for Roach, 12 for Lyons, 11 for Quigley and Williams, who also had 13 and was 2 of 11 and is really seeming to struggle this year, just finding a way to score points, as the Moose took a 1-point L in Oklahoma City to the Bison, 43 points for Lester Bates, 32 for Lu Feng, 16 for Carter, 12 for Towers, and 10 for Davis Reitzel. The Moose had 24 and 8 and 8 for Cy Gilbert, 19 for Hanlon, 14 for Holmes, 12 for Benningfield and Love, 11 for Robinson, 10 for Farmer, Kellogg, and Banks. So a lot of scoring going on here for the Moose. The only person that didn't get in double digits only played 13 minutes, and it was Shammy Mix, as Robinson had 11 on 11 minutes. That's pretty impressive. As the Pandas went to Phoenix to play the Blaze in a rematch for the Western Conference Finals and did lose by 9. 19 for Brooks, 18 for Johnson, 15 for Riley and Richmond, 11 for Copeland, 10 for Baker and Evans, 20 for Midas Khan, 16 for Bosch, 14 for Dermot Newman, 10 for Sun Ming and Maja Ba. On the 18th, the Bulldogs defeat the Sting by 10. Brian Williams with 24, 9, and 8. 18 from Lyons, 17 from Roach, 15 from Clark, 12 from Villette Carson, and then 11 for Quigley. 36 and 9 for Trent Beretta, 24 for DJ Jolly Harpers, 15 for Chuck Armstrong, 13 and 12 for Massenberg, and then 13 for Woolridge. And then even Wu Chan put in 10, and Van Exel had 12 rebounds, so a good game there from the Bulldogs all around. The Cougars took a 22-point L in Brooklyn. The Cobras finally getting going again. 37, 9, and 11 for Dyson. 34, 4, and 7 for Stone. 30 for Kane, 14 for Maja Ba. As Chow Ming led the way for the Cougars, 18 points, 17 for Adams, 15 for Carvacho, 13 for the rookie Russell Flynn, and then 12 for Kavar Kappa. Zaki Bono Shang was down here with just 8 and 4 of 9, as the Enforcers went to New York and got a 7-point win over the Skyliners, 18 and 11 for John Francis, 18 for Davis, 12 for Halpert and Richards, and then 10 for Duhan and Solomon. The Enforcers had Will Truss scored 24 points, 8 rebounds, 14 assists, 15 for Mosley, McAfee, and Hawkins, 17 and 15 for Morris. As then the next game, Blaze won another one by 24. They seem to keep winning by more and more points. 31 for Riley with 7 rebounds, 9 assists, 23 for Alabaster, 19 for Richmond, 14 and 10 for Copeland, 13 for Baker. As for the Hustlers, 22 for Little, 21 for Natchbar, 14 for Abdul-Had, 12 for Hammonds, and 10 for Perisic Jippy. As the Pandas then went to the Townhawks and took a 12-point L, the Townhawks have already won more games this year than they did last year at a record of 8 and 9. 27 for Somerton, 26 for Harrington, 20 and 10 for Xander Myers, 19 for Valentine, 12 for Takashiki, and then 11 for the rookie Gallup Galifianakis, 22 for Majabah to lead the Pandas, 17 and 16 for Alexander Walker, 17 for Domerkant, 16 for Newman, 13 for Ellington, 12 for Bosch, and then 10 for Midas Khan. As then on the 20th, the Wranglers went to the Flamingos and got a 15-point win, 27, 12, and 14 for Akili Antonov, yet another triple-double, 20 for Stackhouse, 16 for Cauley Stein, and then nobody else was in double digits, 30, 20, and 10 for Lamar Shelton, a huge triple-double, 23 and 10 for Witherspoon, 15 for Outlaw, 14 for Hammonds, and 12 for White. As the Pandas took a 2-point win in Utah. Got away with one in Salt Lake, as Ostapkovich had 23, Wagner 17, 16 and 10 and 9 for DeAndre Johnson, 12 for Ryder, 10 for Vidop, that guy who they traded from Dallas, and then 10 for William Strong. Midas Khan 19, 9 and 9, 18 for Majabah, 14 for Jovan, 13 for Domerkant, 11 and 12 for Alexander Walker, and then 11 for Newman. So on the 21st, the Blaze took an L to the Skyliners in New York. Duhon had 28, 24 and 16 for Jean Francis, 24 Richards, 14 for Westerman, 13 for Solomon, 10 for Dambrauskas. B.J. Riley had 24, 7 and 8, 21 for J.P. Evans, 20 for Baker, 13 and 16 for Pittsnoggle, 11 for Johnson, and Richmond Johnson had a double-double, and then 10 for Copeland. As the Hilltoppers took a 20-point L in Charlotte to the Cougars, as Akibano Sheng, 32 points, 18 rebounds, 19 for Cambridge, 18 for Ming, 17 for Kabar Kappa. For the Hilltoppers, 22 and 15 for Sullivan, 14 for Holland Corn, 11, 10, and 11 for Parker Puff, that's a triple-double, and then 10 for Childs. As then the Goblins got a 22-point win in Detroit. Don't know how they played so well in this game. They've been losing a lot of games this year, but somehow beat the Titans in Detroit. 27 for Moncrief, 26 and 13 for White, and then 10 for Green, as Wade Cage had 23 and 9, 16 for Red, 16 and 14 for Jameson, 14 for Whitney, and Kareen. Yep, and then 10 for Fisher, as that will send us into our Week 3 game, Week 3 or Week 2, I'm not entirely sure. It is Week 3, and we are in Cincinnati to watch the Cincinnati Bulldogs take on the visiting Memphis Knights. As here's Jolly Harper inside to Beretta, who throws down a huge jam to open up this game. As here's Heinsohn in the mid-range, and look at him, not even his man jumped on the pump fake, as he is patient in there inside and gets the nice bucket. 4-4 now. Here's Van Exel, lob to Beretta, who throws it down. The big man has come alive here in year number 2. As here's Heinsohn getting a jam of his own, and we're back to 6s, now at 8s. Here's Zigaranovich throwing the lob to Bohannon, who elevates for the stuff. 10-8 now. Here's Massenberg inside, as nothing but highlights here. 20-22 now. Here's Wu Chan, the rookie, for 3, no good. Woolridge, the rebound. He's going to dump it inside to Beretta, who throws it down with both hands. Trent Beretta looking like a man amongst boys as Bohannon nails a 3 off a screen. Just a 6-point game. Now here's Chuck Armstrong inside on the break. He's going to throw one down and let everybody know he did by hanging on the rim. Here is, I don't even know who that is, but for 3, knocks it down before the half, 30-34. As here is Manvunga's heave at the end of the half. No, just kidding, he didn't actually hit it. 30-36 now. Here's Heinsohn inside, going back out to Zigaranovich, who knocks down the 3. Just a 1-point Knights lead now. As here's Wu Chan inside against Heinsohn, somehow gets it up. No good. Woolridge the rebound though, and a huge jam from Woolridge off of the offensive. Driving inside, he's going to drop this one off to Woolridge, who dunks yet another one down. 3-point lead now for the Bulldogs. Here's Wu Chan throwing the lob to Trent Beretta, as it seems like that man dunks everything. Here is a man inside, no good. Ivan Heinsohn, the put back to put it down to 3. There's a nice fadeaway, no good. Ivan Heinsohn, yet another rebound and stuff. So he's doing a lot of work on the offensive glass. Here he is driving right around Wu Chan and everybody else and throwing down another stuff. 6 straight points for Heinsohn off dunks. As how about Trent Beretta with the response? Back down to just a 3-point Knights lead. Here's Weatherspoon, step back, no good. And Heinsohn again with the offensive putback. 3-point game. Here he is again. Fadeaway this time. That one's good as well. 5-point game. Just fadeaway 3, no good. But guess who's there? It's Ivan Heinsohn. Doing all sorts of work here. 4-point game. Zigaranovich has the ball. Goes inside, swatted by Beretta again. Out to Heinsohn. Pump fake. 2 pump fakes. Puts it up good at the end of the shot clock. And it's a 6-point lead. Here's Jolly Harper down the lane as he jams one home with the right hand. 4-point Knights lead. Inside to Heinsohn for yet another slam. 6-point lead. Here's Heinsohn blowing by Jolly Harper. Giving it up to guess who? It's Beefy Beefcakes. The rookie small forward puts it in, and that will be the game. The Knights defeat the Bulldogs in Cincinnati 67-60. So checking out the box score on the game, the Knights do defeat the Bulldogs by 12 points. 31 for Jolly Harper, 24 and 12 for Beretta, 21 for Massenberg, 10 for Van Exel and Armstrong, and then 6 and 14 for Woolidge. As for the Knights, the winning effort, 53 and 19 with 5 blocks, 3 steals, 3 assists for Ivan Heinsohn, 22 of 38. 20 for Baxter, 15 and 14 for Zagoranovic, 10 for Bohannon, 10 and 19 for Witherspoon. As then Beefcakes even put in 4 on 2 of 2. As the Hustlers went 2, Sacramento took a 12-point L to the Sting. Villa with 20 points, Clark 18, Williams with 16 and 12, 14 for Garuba, 13 for Lions. As Nicholas Little had 35, 12 for Natchbar, 10 for Abdul-Wahad, and 10 for Babcock. As the Apollos took a 18-point L to the Moose in Minnesota, 21 and 12 for Cy Gilbert, 17 for Love, 15 and 10 for Hanlon, 13 for Banks, 12 for Benningfield, 11 for Kellogg, and then 10 and 12 for Farmer. For Oakley, 27 points, 11 rebounds, 22 for Gaines, 20 for Hart, and 20 for Brown, 12 for Hart. The Brigade took a 7-point L to the Wranglers in Dallas, 36, 13, and 14 for Lamar Shelton, 19 for Lambert, 12 and 11 for Witherspoon, 12 for White, 12 for Worley Tolbert, 11 for Porter. As then for the Brigade, 20 and 12 for DeJuan Jones, 19 for Maravich, 14 for Woodard, 13 for Baldwin, 11 for McKenneth, 10 for Lumpkin and Hammonds. As then the Wolfpack took an 11-point win at home against the Goblins. Good Lord, I couldn't realize what that thing was. 22 for Quang, 21 for Shackelford, 15-11 for Smith, 14 for Hayton, 10 and 10 for Cartwright, and 10 for Funderburk. Wade Cage, 23 points, 18 and 11 for Jameson, and Anderson also had 18, 14 for Whitney, and 11 for Red. As in the Sharks finally got another win, they beat the Royals at home by 6, 28 for Pope, 20 for Ellis Jr., 18 for Anderson, 15 for Narouche, 13 and 11 for Randall Big Dick Kikanovich. Also had 2 blocks, pretty big double-double from him. 13 from Tyler. Rich Mack had 24, 9 and 11 on 12 of 15 shooting. 22, 6 and 11 for Kenny Dimes. 18 for Rogers, 16 for Miller, and then 12 for Weber. The Blaze took a 17-point L in Chicago to the Enforcers. 27 for Sanders, 21, 4 and 12 for Will Trust. 20 for Mosley McAfee, and then 10 for Threat, as J.P. Evans led the way for the Blaze. 25, 19 for Johnson, 15 and 10 for Riley, and then 10 for Baker. As then that does it for nothing on the 23rd. As then the Hustlers took a 36-point L in Anaheim to the Royals. 40, 14 and 9 for Rich Mack, 25 for Rogers and Dimes. Dimes also had 16 assists, 20 for Weber, 15 for Van Breda-Kolff, 10 for J.P. Evans. Natchbar had 19 points, Abdullah had 18, Little 14, Kendrick 12, Hammonds 12, and then 10 for Reed. It doesn't look like Foster played in this game. I don't really know why that would be, but once again, check the injury report. And nobody's really out for a long time. The Sharks took a 4-point L in Utah to the Buzz. 28 for DeAndre Johnson, 16 for Bohannon, 15 for Astapkovich, 14 for that guy, 11 and 11 for Wagner. And I have never seen this dude. John Axel Gudmundsson apparently put in 11 points. Definitely his career high. And then 8 and 8 for the Big Show. As Tyler had 24 points, 22 for Pope, 21 for Ellis Jr., 12 for Butler and Anderson, and then 11 for Narouche. As the Goblins defeated the Enforcers, the Goblins seem to only want to beat good teams. 27 for Will Trust, 18 and 13 for Morris, 15 and 10 for Hawkins, 10 for Mosley McAfee, and 10 for Sanders. As Wade Cage had 38 points, 13 rebounds, 19 and 10 from Jameson, as they pretty well did it all for their team. As everybody else just seemed to have 7 or 6. As the White Whales got a 22-point win in Atlanta. They outscored them by 20 in the fourth, 21 and 26 for Reggie George, 17 for Darren Simpson, 16 for Price, 14 for Reddish. The Negro led the way for the White Whales, 26 points, 22, 9 and 10 for Boyd, 17 for Guerrero, 13 and 9 for Cousins, 12 for O'Hay, and then 10 for Butterfield and 10 for Jones. And then on the 25th, Huskies beat the Predators in Houston by 4, 16 for O'Gallagher Jr., 16 for Snyder, 15 for Kevin Ball, 13 for Douglas Parker and the rookie Dylan White, 23 and 16 for Bradley, 19 for the rookie Chubbs Martin, 17 for Justice, 15 for Raven. As then the Hustlers beat the Pioneers by 8, 22 and 9 for Dandridge, 20 and 14 for Spears, 14 for Weatherspoon, then 10 for Youngman. Natchbar had 25, 23 and 12, 20 for Little, and 11 for Reed, and 10 for Poole. As then on the 26th, the Brigade won this one by 17 in Miami, 27, 16, and 11 for Achille Antonov, 16 for Stackhouse, 15 for Jordan, 14 for Greenwalt. As Maravich had 20 for the Brigade, 16 and 14 for Jones, 15 for Woodard, 13 for Baldwin, and 13 for Hammonds. As in the Blaze beat the Cobras by 9, 50 more points for Evan Stone on 10 of 17 shooting, hit 24 of 25 from the line, 15 for Kane, and then 13 for Dyson, as Evan Stone did not get a whole lot of help in this game. 24 for B.J. Riley, 22 for Baker, 19 for Johnson, 13 and 12 for Pittsnogle, and 12 for Richmond and Alabaster. As on the 26th, the Brigade beat the Hilltoppers by 6, 26, 10, and 9 for Parker Puff, 16 for Childs, 15 for Shang, 14 for Hollandcorn and Acock, as Jones had 24 and 15, 21 for Manning, 16 for McKenneth, 15 for Woodard and Hammonds, and then 13 for Baldwin, as the Knights beat the Wranglers by 1 in Dallas, 39, 14, and 9 for Lamar Shelton, 13 for Outlaw and Talbert, 12 and 10 for Witherspoon, and then 12 for White, as Bohannon had 24 along with Heinzen, 16 for Baxter, as on the 28th, the Buzz took an L in Anaheim, 99-120. Kenny Dimes had 26 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists, 26 and 15 for Rich Mack, 16 for Miller, 15 for Rogers, and 13 for Raven, as DeAndre Johnson had 26, 14, and 9, 25 for Wagner, 10 for Astopkovich and Williams Strong, as the White Whales got a 20-point win at home over the Wolfpack, 35 and 13 for Boyd, 15 for Butterfield, as the guy they picked up, Maximilian Bohannon, had a nice 12-point game, 11 for Jones, 11 for Suggs, 9 for Cousins, and 5 rebounds, so they have 2 trade acquisitions play pretty well for him. 19 for Smith, 14 for Funderburg, 13 for Shackelford. As then the Moose got a 6-point win over the Enforcers. Will Trust 28 for 12 and 9, 18 for Morris, 15 for Sanders, 14 for Mosley, McAfee, and Hawkins. As Gilbert had 20 and 15, 16 for Love, 14 for Hanlon, 13 for Farmer, and then 10 and 11 for Mix, and 10 for Kellogg. As that will send us into our last game of the episode. I'll see you guys in the highlights. For our last game, we are in California, Sacramento, California, to watch the visiting Oakland Townhawks take on the Sting. How about that pump fake from Roach? I think that's Roach. Roach, maybe? I don't know. Villa inside now, off the pass from Barros. Jams it home, but that was a wonderful pump fake from whoever it was. There's Lou Clark going inside to Barros, or not inside, outside to Barros, who knocks down the 3. It is a 5-point game as we are already into the second half. Townhawks still up by 5. Here's Somerton. No good. Is how about the offensive putback from Valentine? A huge jam there. As now a 3 from the Townhawks, and it's out to a 10-point lead as we are already at the end of the half. Here's Williams putting moves on the rookie as he goes down the lane and gets the tough layup to fall. 7-point game in the third. Here's Harrington inside to Takashiki, who gets the and 1. Does not hit the free throws. Here's Harrington again, this time for 3. That's a deep one. Off the handoff, 10-point game all of a sudden, as now it's up to 14. How about the gorgeous high-step Euro inside, puts it in. Here is Green, top of the key. He's going to fire a 3, and the Townhawks are all over the Sting in this one. 21-point lead, now down to 19. Here's Quigley, nobody back, going down the lane as he jams one home. Still a 17-point game as here's Galifianakis going over the right wing, sees he has too much room and pulls the 3. Back up to a 20-point lead. Here's Xander Myers. Pull up. No good. Valentine, another putback. 22-point game down to 20 again. Here's Williams going outside to Roach. I was right. It was Roach as he knocks it down. But still a 17-point game as that will be all she wrote. Billy Ray Gibbs drives it down as the Townhawks get this win 67-50 over the Sting in Sacramento. So here we are checking out the box scores on the game, on the game. The Townhawks do defeat the Sting 115-86. Nice win for the Townhawks. 19 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists for Williams, 15 for Quigley, 14 for Villa, 12 for Roach, and 10 for Barros. As for the Townhawks, Harrington led the way with 21. Xander Myers had 20, Green with 19, Somerton 17, Valentine with 14 and 12. Winters with 7 and 14 as Galifianakis down here with 6 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. As then the Predators beat the Wranglers by 14. Lamar Shelton, 28 points, 18 rebounds, 13 assists, 3 steals. Huge game from him again. 24 for Witherspoon, 17 for Outlaw, and then not a whole lot else going on there for the Wranglers. O'Gallagher Jr., 23, led the way for the Predators. 22 for Snyder, 16 for Douglas, 13 and 16 for Kevin Ball, 10 and 10 for Walker, Kimbrough, and Parker. As the Goblins took a 17-point L in Utah to the Buzz, 26, 15, and 12 for DeAndre Johnson, 25 for this guy, Diamond, 15 for William Strong, 13 for, and 11 for Big Show. Nice double-double from the rookie, and then 11 for Wagner, 10 for O'Hay and Onan. Logan Onan, yeah. O'Hay is the one that they acquired from Washington in a trade. And then for the Goblins, 39 for Wade Cage, 19 and 14 for Jameson, 13 for Willis, and then 10 for Red. On the 30th, the Bulldogs went to Miami and beat the Flamingos by 9. 30 points, 25 rebounds, and 11 assists for Achille Antonov. 20 for Stackhouse, 19 for Jordan, 15 for Green, and then 11 for Greenwalt. So a lot of nice performances there from the Flamingos, even though they didn't get the win. 35 for Chuck Armstrong with 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Really good game from him. And 28 and 16 for Beretta, 22 for Massenberg, and 21 for Jolly Harper, as those 4 have continued to do really, really well there for the Bulldogs and get them out to that 11-5 record. The Sharks took a 39-point L in Memphis to the Knights. 31 points, 9 rebounds, 5 steals, 2 blocks for Ivan Heinsohn, 17 for Baxter, 14 for Bohannon, 10 for Martinez, and then 8, 9, and 5 for Zigaranovich. Witherspoon was down here with 6 points, 12 rebounds. Gilbert Butler led the way for the Sharks with just 13 points, 12 for Tyler, 11 for Zogato, and then nobody else even hit double digits. Pope was down here with 7 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 of 7 from the floor. And then on the 31st, the Brigade took a 17-point L in Minnesota. Cy Gilbert with 41 points, 15 rebounds, 4 steals, and a block. 22 for Love, 12 for Farmer, and 12 for Bedingfield. As for the Brigade, 22 for Hamlins, 21 for Maravich, 17 for McKenneth, 12 and 15 for Mustafidin. As then the Shift finally got another win. They beat the very good Predators at home. 34 for Coleman led the way in the win, 18 for Haley, 14 for Foster, 12 and 10 for Hamilton, and 10 for James Long. As Gus Hefflinger continues to be the worst shooter in the league, now shooting threes at less than 10%. He was 0 of 2 from the floor, or from 3, and 0 of 6 from the floor with 14 rebounds, though. As for the Predators, 21 and 12 for Kevin Ball, 19 for Walker Kimbrough, 17 for Douglas, 11 for O'Gallagher Jr., and 10 for Snyder. The Cougars went to Utah and got a 1-point win over the Buzz, 17 and 11 for DeAndre Johnson, 16 for Diamond, 15 for Wagner, 14 for Gudmundsson, and then 12 for Ryder, 11 for O'Hay and Big Show, as the Big Show gets yet another double-double. You love to see it. 26, 15, and 10 for Akibono Shang, 17 for Adams, 16 for Kabar Kappa, 13 for Ming, and then 11 for the rookie Russell Flynn. As then the Skyliners got a 20-point win over the Townhawks in Oakland, 22 points, 25 rebounds for Zander Myers with 4 steals and blocks, 16 for Harrington, 19 for Harrington, 16 for Galifianakis, their rookie, and then 12 for Valentine. And John Francis had 34 points, 22 rebounds, 3 steals, 7 blocks. Some DPOY numbers there from John Francis. 20 for Richard, 16 for Dambrauskas, 12 for Duhon and Davis, and then the rookie Jim Halbert, first overall pick, just had 7 points. The Sharks got a 1-point win over the Enforcers, as Mosley McAfee had 29, 23, and 10 for Morris, 17 for Sanders, 15 for Will Trust, 14 for Bam Majabah, who they did trade for, and then 13 and 11 for Hawkins. As for the Sharks, 22 for Gildreth Butler, 20 for Ellis Jr., 17 for Nerea, 16 for Tyler, 15 for Randall Big Dick Kikanovich, 14 for Anderson, and then 11 for 13 for Quentin Pope. As that does it for Month 4 highlights, we are going to go ahead and see if there's been any more trades. There sure has, as Ashton Babcock has been traded to the Flamingos for a first-round pick in 2024, as then Giovanni Tatum and Lucifer Shakur have been traded to the Bison for Mitrovic and Marcus Santos Silva, as I'm pretty sure that Mitrovic was traded earlier this season as well. Yep, he sure was. He was traded from the Hilltoppers to the Bison and now to the Sharks, as Jojo Abdul Aziz has been traded to the Brigade from Mike Baldwin straight up. There's a lot of straight up trades here going on in the BSGL. As injury report, Douglas is out for the Shift, as if they needed any more people out, and DeJuan Jones is out 4 to 6 weeks with left knee tendonitis. That is a huge loss for the Brigade, especially entering this crucial part of the season. The rookie Louis Keller is out with a left foot stress fracture. That is a new injury as well. Willingham broke his left thigh. I think we've been through that one already. And Will Kendrick is out with a severe left ankle sprain. We've already seen Irving, Chris Hayton, Teddy Ronald, who has been traded from the Sting to the Legends, pulled his calf muscle. He's out for a little while. We have a lot of guys hurt. Our reigning 6th man of the year, Ruben Solomon, is even out right now. And Ed Weber with a bruised rib. So lots of people hurt. Not anywhere near as bad as what the actual NBA is going through right now, as we need to look at our player of the week for this last 4 weeks. Mason Boyd and DeAndre Johnson win it in week 1. Evan Stone and Rich Mack, Abraham Dyson and Ivan Heinsohn, and then John Francis and Lamar Shelton to round out January. Player of the month, now I'm not sure why it wasn't pulled up. Evan Stone and Ivan Heinsohn both won player of the month for their respective conferences. Already Evan Stone's second player of the month, and he was hurt most of December. As in rookie of the month goes to Darren Simpson in the East and Randall Kikanovich in the West. Kikanovich's second rookie of the month selection and Simpson's first. So it's nice to see all of these people, all these rookies continue to improve, as that is all the time I have for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed Month 4 highlights of the BSGL, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. This next highlight reel will be a very short one before the All-Star break. We'll still do 3 games, and then we will go into the All-Star break, and we've gotten quite a bit for the All-Star break. Of course, we've got the Skills Challenge. or the Rising Stars game, the dunk contest, and the 3-point contest, the All-Star game, and then we will do our first prospect game on All-Star Weekend as well. So if you do not have a prospect in the league or in this current draft class, then be sure to submit one if you want to see your player of the league, and I will see all of you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.